Hi students, today we are going to discuss properties of inverse trigonometric functions. Okay, let y is equal to sine inverse of sine theta. Y is equal to sine inverse of sine theta. Right, what is domain of this function? Right, domain of sine inverse is closed interval -1 comma 1 for sine inverse of sine theta -1 less than or equal to sine theta less than or equal to 1. This is true for all real values of theta. Therefore, domain is set of all real numbers. Okay. Now, what is range? What is range? For sine theta belong to closed interval -1 comma 1. That implies sine inverse of sine theta belong to closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. That is the range of this function. Now, the values of sine inverse of sine theta are the values of sine inverse sine theta are. Okay, for that, see one example. Let capital A and capital B be two sets. Set A contain two elements, A and B. B contain two elements, P and Q. F is a bisection from A to B, then F inverse exists and mapping from B to A. F of A is equal to P and F inverse of P is equal to A. Therefore, F inverse of F of A that is equal to A. Similarly, F inverse of F of B is equal to B. Thus, F inverse of F of X equal to X. Now, how to draw the graph of this function? Right, domain is set of all real numbers. Range is closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. Take the values of domain on x-axis and the values of range on y-axis. Right, period of sine theta is 2 pi. Therefore, period of sine inverse of sine theta is also 2 pi. Now, draw the graph of this function for the interval of length 2 pi. Right? Then the same shape repeats the graph of the interval of length 2 pi. Right? Now, see the complete graph of sine inverse of sine x. Right? Take the values of domain on x-axis and the values of range on y-axis. Right? If x belong to closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. In this interval, sin x is a bisection. Therefore, sin inverse of sin x is equal to x. In this interval, the graph of a function is a straight line, that is y is equal to x. Now, what is the shape of the graph in the interval, closed interval, pi by 2 comma 3 pi by 2? For that, sin inverse of sin pi by 2 is equal to pi by 2. Sin inverse of sin pi, that is equal to 0. Sine inverse of sine 3 pi by 2, that is equal to minus pi by 2. Also, x belong to closed interval pi by 2 comma 3 pi by 2. Pi minus x belong to closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. Right. Pi minus x belong to closed interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. And sine inverse of sine of pi minus x. Sine inverse of sine of pi minus x, that is equal to pi minus x. Therefore, the graph of this function is a straight line, that is pi minus x in the interval pi by 2 comma 3 pi by 2. Therefore, see the graph of the interval minus pi by 2 comma 3 pi by 2 of length 2 pi. Then this shape repeats of the interval of length 2 pi. Okay, now sine inverse of finally sine inverse of sine x is equal to odd multiples of pi minus x or x minus even multiples of pi. Right, now see the graph of cos inverse of cos x. What is the domain of this function? Right, and range. What is the range of this function? Right, the domain is capital R and range is closed interval 0 comma pi. Here also take the domain values on x-axis and range values on y-axis. Right. For x belong to closed interval 0 comma pi. In this interval, cos x is a bisective function. Therefore, cos inverse of cos x is equal to x. Therefore, the graph of this function in closed interval 0 comma pi is a straight line, that is y is equal to x. Now, what is the shape of this graph in the interval pi comma 2 pi? Right? For that, find cos inverse cos pi, that is equal to pi. Cos inverse cos 3 pi by 2, that is equal to pi by 2. Cos inverse of cos 2 pi, that is equal to 0. Right? Therefore, the graph is a straight line, that is y is equal to 2 pi minus x. Right? The period of this function is also 2 pi. Right? Then the shape of the graph in the interval 0 comma 2 pi repeats the graph of interval of length 2 pi. Now, how to find cos inverse cos 3? Right? 3 less than pi. 3 less than pi. Therefore, the image of 3 lies on the line y is equal to x. Therefore, cos inverse of cos 3 is equal to 3. Now, what is the value of cos inverse of cos 4? Here, 4 greater than pi, 4 greater than pi. The image of 4 lies on the line y is equal to 2 pi minus 4. Therefore, cos inverse of cos 4 is equal to 2 pi minus 4. Similarly, cos inverse of cos 5 is equal to 2 pi minus 5. Now, the graph of y is equal to tan inverse of tan x. What is the domain of this function? Domain of this function is set of all real numbers and the range is open interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2. Right? Take the domain values on x-axis and the range values on y-axis. Right? If x belong to open interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2, in this interval tan x is a bisective function, then tan inverse of tan x equal to x. Therefore, the interval minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2, the graph of this function is a straight line, that is y is equal to x. Right. The period of tan x is pi. The period of tan inverse of tan x is also pi. Then the graph repeats of interval of length pi.